Hello and welcome to the next video of my Worlds 2023 preview series. We're going to cover LNG Esports, the third seed from China heading to Worlds 2023. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been here for a while, I went over this last couple videos. I'm going to say here, I have a new light. Angles may be a little different. The lighting may suck. If so, I'm working on it. LNG. I went over KT yesterday. LNG in a similar boat, in my opinion, a team definitely capable of winning this event. I think that they have all the pieces to succeed. There are definitely some glaring things that'll say, okay, like KT with Cuz. LNG has a situation or two that would say, well, maybe they'll have an issue. But if all things hit right for LNG, I could see them winning. So, the last 3 years, obviously in a different format, the Chinese third seed, 2022 and 21 would drop out in quarters. And then in 2020, Suning finished runner-up to Damwon Kia. So the three seed from the LPL historically has been able to get to the top 8. Their coach is Yu. Yu was the coach of LNG in 2021, where they'd go 7-4 overall in that event at Worlds 2021 and drop out in the group stage. This roster is 22.2 years old. There are definitely some stars on it, as well as some players you may not have heard about before if you only pay attention to international events. You're a Western fan, things of that nature. In top lane, we have Zika. Zika, I think, is quite talented for his age, only 20 years old, and very, even with IG before he joined LNG in 2023, I felt like Zika was a solo dolo top laner kind of going on his own path, and that is evident in the 2023 numbers. Keep in mind, LPL numbers aren't as in-depth as the other major regions. 4-3 KDA, 8-2 CS per minute, 51 4 KP, very solo dolo, around 50 KP. Not really all that involved. Every other kill. 391 damage per minute, 391 gold per minute. About 21% of the team's gold. 450 damage per minute. That's only 20% of damage. We saw Keen yesterday, up around 22.5%. So there is a difference in how these teams play, and that's because Zika is not as involved. He's on an island. He's split pushing, trying to take turrets. 12 champions in 64 games. The one of two players on this team with no international experience. I am curious to see how both of those players perform at this event. That is the weak link when it comes to this team as top and then support. In the jungle, we have Tarzan, 24 years old. Tarzan is an excellent jungler. I consider him to be top 5 in the world. I think he is when all things hit right, Tarzan can be a menace. Really, you're going to have Canyon and Kanavi at this event, but I think Tarzan is right there behind them. In the LPL, his numbers were very facilitator oriented. There is no doubt about it. He was not a carry this past split. Scout definitely given more carry opportunities, as well as Gala. 4-6 KDA, 5 CS per minute, 73 1 KP. So 5 CS, he's giving up farm to try and make things happen. 335 gold per minute, which is about 18% of the team's gold. 318 damage per minute, 14%. 13 champions, 64 games. So the top side of the rift is only 34.3% of the team's damage, which is not a lot, right? Internationally, he's played 22 games, going to Worlds twice. In 2019, dropping out in quarters. In 2021, dropping out in group stage. In those 22 games, he was good. I mean, to say the very least. These numbers are why Tarzan is the way he is. 3-4 KDA, 5-6 CS per minute, 66 4 KP. So those two trips more carry oriented. 343 gold per minute, 330 damage per minute. Pretty standard with what he's put up in the LPL this year. On average, only getting slightly ahead of his opponents internationally. 200 gold, 2 CS, 190 XP. Had 8 solo kills in those 22 games. Tarzan is an excellent player. I think I can't emphasize that enough. Afterwards, we have Scout. Scout, at 25 years old, may have had his best season he's ever had. I thought he was, at times, the best mid in the world throughout this year. I think there's still an argument to be made that he was, When I say that, I still have Knight and Chovy ahead of Scout. But in terms of how they're performing right now, at those times, I thought Scout was playing better. I thought Scout and Tarzan were just on another level. I think I had them as my spring MVPs, and in summer, I think they're on the All-Pro team. So at 25 years old, Scout put up a 5.1 KDA, 8.6 CS per minute, 72.9 KP. That is significant. Just like we talked about KT yesterday, BDD, facilitator oriented. Scout going around the rift, trying to make things happen. That is why his KP is as high as Tarzan's. They are fighting around mid, and mid is going around trying to create havoc. 434 gold per minute. That's 23.2% of the team's gold. He's clearly the secondary carry on this team. 660 damage per minute. That's 29.4% of the team's damage. So, 29 point. I mean, we're looking at a situation where actually Scout and Gala are very close in how their DPM and share reflect each other. So it's clear that it's one or the other that's carrying these games. However, he is the only player on this roster. Oh, that's a lie. Never mind. 9 champions, 64 games. He's played 62 games internationally. Obviously, Worlds 2021, a champion with EDG. In 2016, 18, and 22 out in group stage, and Worlds 2017 out in group stage. So, did I say group stage? I meant, damn it, 1 second. Scout, 21, he won. He's a world champion. In 2016, 18, and 22 out in quarterfinals. 2017 out in group stage. He's 35 and 27. His numbers are fine internationally. He is definitely world class. 3.3 KDA, 8.6 CS per minute, 69 KP. So this is Scout. They fight around Scout. Scout goes and affects the rift. 404 gold per minute, 504 damage per minute. On average, he gets ahead of his lane opponent. 370 gold, 5 CS, 240 XP. 30 solo kills in those 62 games, so he does definitely get slightly ahead of his lane opponents internationally, and he also has the threat of solo killing his opponents. Bot lane, we have Gala. 22 years old. Gala's obviously very good. If you've watched international events, you've seen him win MSI the last couple of years with RNG in 2021 and 22 respectively. This past split, he was more than solid. 7.2 KDA, 9.9 CS per minute, 69.1 KP. 466 gold per minute, so 25% of the team's gold. 671 damage per minute, that's 30% of damage. 9 champions, 64 games. If Kesa is meta, LNG's stock rises. That is Gala's bread and butter. He is a scary, scary player when Kesa is meta. He is 60 and 22 over his career at international events. He is the most decorated player on this team internationally, despite being younger than Scout. Worlds 2021 and 22 out in quarters. And like I said, he won MSI in 21 and 22. Internationally, his numbers are excellent. 4.7 KDA, 9.8 CS per minute, 63 KP. 470 gold per minute, 550 damage per minute. And on average, gapped his lane opponents. We're looking at a 545 gold diffy, 11 CS diff, and 315 XP difference. 15 solo kills in the 82 games, so he gets ahead. Now, obviously, these were alongside Ming and on those great RNG teams that were obviously very dominant in MSI. So the stats definitely, you have to take that into account when you go over them, but when it comes to those 3 roles of jungle, mid, and AD carry, LNG are more than capable of beating their lane opponents. The only real scary team, really, like JDG better, and then after that it's like, okay, Gen G, and it's JDG and Gen G. Because like even when I think about it, like BLG, I'm not a super big Shun fan or Yagao fan. I do think Elk's better than Gala, but Shun and Yagao versus Tarzan Scout, I prefer Tarzan Scout. I don't care about results. I'm just saying about my opinions. And we'll obviously talk about BLG eventually in these videos. T1, you know, not the way that they're playing right now. Obviously, Damwon Kia, D plus Kia, they can be competitive. Canyon Showmaker at any point could just go on a run and win the event. So LNG are probably in that tier list right there with D plus Kia and the like, because topside it's a question mark. And then in support, we have a question. So Hung, 20 years old. Unfortunately, LPL gives us like no stats when it comes to vision. So 39 KDA, 71 6 KP, 11 champion, 64 games, no international experience. So we'll see how that bot lane does. It's a young bot lane. Ming obviously helped Gala before. Hopefully Gala now has enough experience to handle his own down there. Zika in top lane. The way this team plays, he is going to have to duke it out. Now, obviously, he's played against the likes of Bin and Ale and the Shy and I mean, 369 and Shanji, and I stalled too much in between saying those. Obviously, those should come off the rip, but I think you're getting my drift here. Zika has played world-class players. He hasn't played Zeus. He hasn't played Keen, Doran, or Kana. There's an imposter in there, or maybe two. So, yeah, so that'll be interesting for Zika, obviously. But I think in terms of jungle mid 80 carry, they're definitely at or just below the best players at the event. So that's it for my video on LNG. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.